Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente, Monday, April 20th, 2015. And here are some of today's trends in the news. Remember, tracking trends is an understanding of where we are, how we got here, so you can see where we're going. Let's not look back too far, though. Let's only look to Friday. Hey, here was the news on Saturday, all in the financial press. Markets lose their footing across globe. Stocks are slammed by renewed fears of Greek exit from Eurozone and weak corporate earnings. Yeah, and then going a little bit more inside, the Dow over here was down over 350 points and closed down about 280. Oof. Beijing hoists red flag on its stocks. Hey, red flag. Commie red? Well, nope, they're not commies. Don't say that. They're our trading partners. They're the people that Bill Clinton and the rest of them gave all our jobs to. Different red flag. Okay, I'll continue. Regulators warn small investors, raising fears of market sell-off that could ripple across the globe. Chinese security regulators issued the strongest warning yet about their country's soaring stock market and tightened rules on margin lending, while the country's 2 stock exchanges said they would make it easier to bet against stocks, spurring worries that the world's best performing markets could tumble. Yeah, they did that after the markets closed. The Shanghai index, double this year. That's right. And all this gambling. But that was on Friday. And then China announced on Sunday, just before the markets opened, right here, front page, Financial Times, China relaxes bank cash rules to kickstart slowing economy. Reserve limits cut to free up funds for lending. Moves follow latest poor growth data. The People's Bank of China has only once before cut the reserve requirement ratio by as much, and that was during the depths of the financial crisis in 2008. Quote, "This clearly signals that China has entered into an aggressive monetary easing cycle to counter the economic slowdown," said AZ Bank economists. So as the markets open up in the States on Monday and over there in Europe, Europe extends gains. DAX up 1.7%. And things in Greece are looking better. Yeah. European markets followed their Asian counterparts higher on Monday, after China's central bank on Sunday lowered the reserve requirement ratio for all banks by 100 basis points. The wider-than-expected cut was the People's Bank of China's second reduction in 2 months. Quote, "Traders are not traders, gamblers. Initially welcoming the fact that China's central bank is making bold moves to stave off a downward spiral in their economy. However, the People's Bank of China has already been cutting its benchmark interest rate since November and already made the RRR cut in February without much evidence of a turnaround, so we could interpret these actions as a panicky move to prevent a hard landing?" Questions Marius Pawn and Jonathan Sudaria, 2 dealers at Capital Spreads. Okay, more cheap dough More cheap dough. Keep that Ponzi going. This is disgusting, man. It's one central bank scam after another. So, dun, da, 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 Dow up over 200 points on strong profits. Hey, wait a minute. They said that they had slowing profits on Friday. Well, that was Friday. And China stimulus. Yes. That's right. That's from USA Today. After the previous session's shell lacking, the Dow is solidly in the black Monday. The Chinese central bank lowered the amount of money banks need to keep on reserve by 1%. So they need less money on reserve so they can push it out into the system. And then when it goes down, don't worry about it. They call it austerity measures. The banks is too big to fail. That's right. Do dirty deals. Traders have to trade. They're not traders. They're gamblers. Or we could call them actually traitors. Traitors. Traitors to capitalism. That's all this is. Oh, nice editorial over here in the Financial Times. Misbehaving banks must have their day in court. Misbehaving banks. How's that for a kitty?
That was bullshit.
That's right. Misbehaving banks. Almost 7 years since the financial crisis crashed over the global economy, many of its repercussions are still being felt. Among them is the public opinion of finance, which remains low despite repeated attempts by the industry's leaders to turn the page in its role in the crisis. No sooner has the public digested the shock from one revelation of rampant misbehavior than another scandal erupts, be it rigging global price benchmarks, fraudulently selling rotten products to retail customers, or helping tax evaders and sanction busters. And they bullshit with this horseshit language of misbehaving. Hey, talking about misbehaving, John the Slime Corzine, the guy that was the former governor of New Jersey, former head of the Goldman Sachs gang, and governor of New Jersey, starting his own hedge fund, they says. That's right, misbehaving. Look what the cops do to us for any little infraction. Look what the government does to us for any minor infraction, and high crimes and misdemeanors that have destroyed the lives of tens of millions of people and countries around the world. And these assholes in the Financial Times call it misbehaving to you. And speaking of misbehaving, looks like they're going to release those sanctions from Iran. Little stories popping up. In Vienna, talks brew for Iran oil. Just had a meeting over there. It was kept very quiet, a little publicized conference. The South Caspian Region Petroleum and Energy 2015 Summit was just held. And oil companies from around the world were there talking about the prospects in Iran, but very quietly. Dubai hopes to be investors' bridgehead for Iran deals. Today's Financial Times. I keep saying it over and over and over and over. It's about business. And with the global economy slowing down, a country of 80 million people with a lot of resources, gas comes out of the ground very cheaply over there compared to what it costs in the United States and other places. They're sitting on an estimated fourth or third largest oil reserves in the world. And things have been suppressed for quite a while. So they're looking not only in oil, but for other markets to exploit as well. So I think the Iranian deal is going to pass, if there's not something to stop it, like that Yemen war. Yeah, that's right, slaughtering more innocent people every day. And we heard some bad news coming out. This is from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Several Gulf Arab states are unhappy about UN Chief Ban Ki-moon's call for immediate ceasefire by all sides in Yemen, and are expected to raise the issue in a meeting with him soon. Ban has called for an immediate halt to the fighting, the first time he has made such an appeal since Saudi-led airstrikes against Houthi rebels began 3 weeks ago. First time, 3 weeks. Hey, Moon! Well, you can't speak English? You got a problem? You people are disgusting. UN, you suck. What a bunch of bullshit that organization is. Hey, you want to see what bullshit they are? Here's a nice story for you, brought to you by the United Nations and the other slimy bastards that made it happen, but nobody's talking about it. Here we go. Migrants killed as ship capsizes off Libyan coast. That's right. Almost 2,000 people in 5 days have drowned from trying to escape the turmoil in Libya. Brought to you by the United Nations. You remember or you forgot? It was 4 years ago. But maybe this will help you remember. Just listen to your Nobel arrogant Peace Prize winner. Peace Prize? Here it is, a piece of crap, and covered by a ton of...
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
Listen up.
For more than 4 decades, the Libyan people have been ruled by a tyrant, Muammar Gaddafi. I made it clear that Gaddafi had lost the confidence of his people and the legitimacy to lead. And I said that he needed to step down from power. We struck regime forces approaching Benghazi to save that city and the people within it. We hit Gaddafi's troops in neighboring Ajabiyah. We hit Gaddafi's air defenses. We targeted tanks and military assets. We have stopped Gaddafi's deadly advance.
I made it clear. I said, we hit their troops, we hit Benghazi, we hit their tanks, and Gaddafi is on the run. Murderers, murderers. Look what they have done. And here is more bullshit. Ready? EU to launch military operations against migrant smugglers in Libya. The European Union is to launch operations against the networks of smugglers in Libya deemed culpable of sending thousands of people to their deaths in the Mediterranean. That's right. It's them people that are putting those people on the ships and sending them out there. They're leaving because it's mass murder going on over there. The whole country's in ruins. What was the richest country in Africa, where the people led a better life than anyone else, lowlifes like Obama, and don't forget Hillary Clinton. Hey, Samantha Powers, how come you're not shooting off your mouth now? Where's Susan Rice? Mass murder going on, and this is the crap that they're putting out. Here we go. This is a systematic effort to capture and destroy vessels used by the smugglers. Yep, get them smugglers. But stay away from the mass murderers. Just like those banks that misbehave. Hey, Obama made a mistake. So what? This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.